Good evening and welcome to it's fine. Don't worry. It happens all the time. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of KopTalk. KopTalk Conversations, November 2024. We are titled. We have got some amazing people coming to join us this evening, and I'm deeply appreciative of that. Firstly, Tabrice, sir, how are you?
I am well. I am back. Honestly, thank you for allowing me to kind of come on and actually speak about our beloved club. I've been kind of watching and literally, honestly, I actually love the content. So again, thank you for allowing me to share my presence and share my little knowledge. But again, thank you.
No. Don't ever undersell yourself. And I know we were saying before we came on, listen to Bruce, you're a KopTalk family. I can see that you're in the mute, which is fine. But you are your KopTalk family. You know you're always going to have the link. You know you're always going to be welcome here. So listen, just thank you for joining us. Pred, sir, how are you this evening?
I'm all right. I've got my chicken wings in the background in the air fryer. Liverpool top of the league in England, top of the league in Europe. I am blessed. And to top it all off, the big man's back. You know what I mean? So I'm all good.
That's good. And Doctor, how are you, sir?
I am well, gentlemen. It's been great to be back. I'm in the land of my grandmother in St. Lucia and my uncle's beautiful home. And as he said, I am at the top of a mountain and we are top of the league, baby. We're just doing tops this week. We're just doing tops. Salut.
Salut.
That's how it's been. Good evening, Billy. Billy's just firing off. What's he got? Yes, people. I hope you're all well. Liverpool really shut everybody. Liverpool really have shut everybody. What's he said here? I can't read that, gents. What's he?
Liverpool have really shut up everyone, haven't they? All the haters just silent. Conor Bradley's the only reason you can afford to sell Trent, I must admit. So he's just like bigging us up.
All right, thanks.
Stoney, you having a little sip of Doctor's little...
Listen,
you got the cucumber juice there or something?
Listen, I've got enough to share.
No cucumber juice.
I've got one of everyone still.
Okay. Just get your bifocals out then, mate. You'll get your bifocals out.
This one is special.
Look at this guy here. Look at this guy.
But the main one is this one here, yeah, the Bounty Sorrow. And as you can see, people, it's red.
Have you mixed that yourself, or is that how it comes?
No, that's how it comes, man. Bounty is one of the main kind of rum brands over here. Bounty and Chairman. So Bounty quite established in the Caribbean, but obviously, they're from St. Lucia, so they've got various different brands. But it's a nice drink, man. So for all of the sorrel drinkers out there, drink your sorrow in tears, mate. Drink your sorrow and have tears.
So we're just gonna jump straight back into it. Liverpool, Southampton. We'll start with that game. I think my predictions was I think my prediction was a 2-0 win to Liverpool. So we're just gonna open the show with say at least I'm consistent. Any of my predictions are always inaccurate. So I'm glad I'm glad that I'm consistent. Preds, did you manage to watch the game at all, sir?
Yes, I did. I did indeed. And again, it was. I think I expected a little bit of a bit of rustiness because the international break and everyone's gone away. You know, the two he left He left McAllister and Diaz on the bench. So starting 11 was good enough to play. I just think we kind of, first half, I think we gradually built our play up, and we done really, really well. When, you know what, last week we were gunning Szoboszlai, and then all of a sudden he pops up with a very good, well-taken goal. So you know what? And the second half we was in control at all points. Even when we were 2-1 down, I still felt that we were still in control and we're still going to win. It was just, you know what, the Lallana tackle was something that just sticks into my head. Obviously a former Liverpool player. However, you know, that was a sending off, wasn't it? It was sending off, that tackle. You know what I mean? But look, listen, it was the game straight after the international break. It was ring rust. The boys made a bit of a challenge of it, but however, we got the 3 points and we kept it moving.
Brilliant. So, Reece, over to you, sir.
Yeah, I kind of watched the game, and I've got to agree with what Prez actually said. Again, a bit of a banana skin. We all know that teams near like the bottom, especially Southampton, are literally fighting to actually stay in this league. Personally, I think Alex McCarthy is definitely a Liverpool fan, because he literally gifted us two wonderful goals. Szoboszlai, again, like, I think, well, I'm not gonna say that the jury's out. It was a kind of great finish, but you know that the instigator was Alex. And for our equalizer, I believe, was it the equalizer when Alex was in no man's land as well?
Yeah.
Let's be real. You know, but they always say, if you're not playing well and getting a result, then, you know, that's kind of sign, you know, that's a good sign that you are actually on the right path to like becoming a very special team. I'm not gonna say the C word. Again, we are 8 points clear at this present moment in time. We all know nothing is won in November, but you can definitely lay the foundations.
Brilliant, thank you. Good evening, Chris Welsh. Chris has said, good evening, gentlemen. The slot machine still being left in the arcades. I've heard breaking news. You have breaking news? Share that with us, Chris, what that breaking news is. Doctor, on your travels, spending your Bitcoin, did you manage to watch the Liverpool game at all?
So I was actually in position to watch the whole game. However, my uncle on a Sunday morning likes to go hiking. We went hiking up a beautiful mountain. So missed the first half, but then watched the second half. And I think, to echo what everyone said so far, I always felt it would be a tricky game for a few reasons. One, that first game after the international break, we've always looked a bit disjointed. Two, I think because of what Spurs did to Man City, there's almost this expectation when Liverpool beat Southampton, when they then beat Man City, they could be 11 points clear. So it just felt that the fan base were overlooking it a little bit. And I do think sometimes that energy can rub off on the players. But I just think, more importantly, we haven't really been steamrolling teams. It's almost like we kind of just almost pitch our level to the level of our opponent and then just look to be just good enough to actually beat them. So I didn't expect to see Liverpool 5, Saints 0 at all. I thought it was always going to be quite a close game. And I thought they're one of these teams that, because of the way they play, when they're under no pressure, they can actually make it a bit tricky for you. But to echo Predz's point, absolute red card on ground, but a terrible challenge. But it just goes to show, when you've got English players with a positive rep, you can get away with a lot of things. And actually, if we're being honest, we also benefited from that in regards to people like James Milner. There's been a few games where Milner got 3 yellow cards, right? So you see it happening. But nah, it was definitely a red card challenge for me. But actually, just on the last point on that, I thought what was disappointing, but I guess showed the energy, the players didn't complain. It's almost like he's one of us, he's one of our mates, and they didn't really make a fuss of it. And I thought that was disappointing.
Definitely. Good evening, Mr. Credible, RDR. Thanks, and I think you're one of our new ones, actually. I don't think I've actually seen him pop up on our feed before, to be mindful of how I refer to people. So good evening, Credible CDR. Thanks for coming and joining us as well. You're actually right there with the stamp by Lallana on Ryan. There seemed to be no reaction from anybody, and it made me think in two ways. Was it a red? Was it a yellow? Was it careless? Was it reckless? Was it excessive? There seemed to be, I agree with you, absolutely no reaction at all. What was your thoughts on that, Tabrice?
You know what? To be absolutely honest with you, I didn't actually see it in real time until they literally spoke about it. I believe it was at halftime or at full time, and I'm like, it really did like look nasty. And we all know that Gravenberch has kind of gone through his kind of injury woes at the start of his career. But again, exactly what Doctor said, which I didn't really kind of think about. None of the players really kind of reacted to it. Is it like because of Lallana's affiliation with the club and literally what he kind of did like for us? I think because maybe there was I think Liverpool were like still in the phase of play, I believe. So maybe the players were probably more like bothered in terms of where the ball was going to go rather than looking at Gravenberch. But yeah, I mean, we have VAR for a reason. And literally again, they literally gave it away. So yeah, but I mean, Gravenberch looks okay. I've not heard anything out that he's going to be out. Not going to be, if he's going to be out for days or weeks. So as long as we come out the game injury free and 3 points.
So to be fair, he played on Wednesday, which we're going to talk about as well. So, like you say, touch wood, he kind of got through it.
Definitely. Robbo, that decision there for the what was given as the penalty in real time, I thought it was out of the box, but it was interesting to hear the commentary team mention it. And I think, just correct me, gents, I think in the commentary they were saying if it was on the line, then it's a penalty, and that was the decision. The reason why they were saying that it wasn't an offence outside the line. Am I correct in saying that, Tabrice? I can hear you nodding your head. Could you give us an update on your opinion on that at all?
So literally, as a kind of referee, anything that's on the line, especially in the kind of 18-yard box, is literally classed as in the box. So yeah, literally, that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, fine. Okay, your opinions on that at all, Preds and Tabrice? Do you guys want? I mean, sorry, Preds and Doctor, do you guys want to extend on your thoughts on that, whether it was a penalty or not?
So I thought in real time it looked like a pen, and then obviously in the replay, you then saw that actually it wasn't quite as clear cut as that. For me personally, it almost felt like the panel weren't aware of what the rules are. Now maybe I'm being arrogant when I say that, but I just thought dribbling at no point is touching the line. Robbo's touching the line, was obviously inside of the box, but Robbo hasn't been fouled, right? So where Robbo is shouldn't be important. And I just thought dribbling himself is not touching the line, so it shouldn't be in a pen. But equally, I think sometimes when you watch the game, you think to yourself, there's what's right and there's what's moral, and there's, I guess, the feel of the game. And I just thought, for the stupidity of the challenge from Robbo in that position where he's backed off, and then done that, I almost felt we almost kind of deserved to concede a pen personally. So I wasn't really too upset, if I'm being honest. I thought it was just really, really poor play from us.
Preds, thoughts on that at all?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Preds. Can't hear you.
Preds, your multiple headsets never work. When you just attach your Bluetooth, it always works much better. Bruv, every week there's a new headset. One's his son, I'm sure, the missus. one from work.
Still can't hear you.
He's had about 5.
Yeah.
I know.
He's got about a 5.
So I know. So while Preds is fixing his headset, good evening, Fitzwarren, Brighton. Good evening, gentlemen. And just welcome to you. Good evening as well to Mark Foster. Thanks for tuning in. I thought it was quite interesting with the so even though the penalty decision was actually given, there was quite a few phases of play before that. Did you see the amount of players that were actually backing off from midfield and were allowing the Southampton player to even get close to our box before a challenge was actually put in? That's more where my concern was. So even when the decision was given for the penalty, it's like there was a delay by me, and I was thinking, well, should that player have been able to? I'm sure there's probably about 3 or 4 players that he actually dragged into the box before the decision was actually given. That's more where my head was actually at. But going back over to something that you mentioned before we came on here as well, Doctor. Should we speak about Kelleher then with the save?
Mate, it's just, I don't know. It's like he's just in the zone. It's like, it's always nice to see. And I guess for some players in different sports, it lasts for an extended period of time. Some people, it's a small window, but it's almost like he is just zoned in and he has got absolute confidence in his ability right now. And it's just really, really nice to see a guy come through the academy, especially goalkeeper, to be at such a young age. And because I almost thought, because he broke into the team, 3 seasons ago? I thought from the moment he broke into the team, he's just looked very, very, very good. There was the period last season where he struggled initially, then he settled in. And I think right now, I want him to get carried away, but he's performing like one of the best goalkeepers in the league. So I'm just really just in awe of what he's doing right now.
And you're right, it was brilliant. Made the first save. I know there's a rebound before the goal was actually dispatched there as well. What was your thoughts on did you manage to see that feature at all, Tabriz? I know you said you only managed to see highlights. Were you able to capture that moment at all?
Yeah, literally, I watched the whole game, and I think with Kelleher, he's been lucky. You know, let's be real here. I don't think I remember in my generation a first choice keeper being so injury prone. Because usually, if you're a second choice keeper, you are probably going to play a couple of games and probably play like cup games. But because of Alisson's, injury woes right now, he's, rightly so, earned, like his starting berth. And yeah, he's he's in that zone. Like he seems very calm. Like he's not a shouter. He just seems very almost nonchalant in terms of how he kind of performs in goal. But I mean, just kind of reversing a little bit in terms of like the penalty anyway. Something that I know someone highlighted in the comments, like hopefully the whole VVD backheel scenario doesn't happen against Man City. And again, I think it was a bit of loss of concentration, but I think everyone's literally allowed a mistake or two. But yeah, I think with kind of Kelleher, an amazing goalkeeper. He's like definitely number 1 material. But let's be real, if Alisson's fit, he comes straight back into the team.
Interesting scenario that we've got with the goalkeepers as well, because like both of you guys have both alluded to, Alisson has had the injury concerns. We've got Kelleher playing really good, rich vein of form. Whether he's going to be there at the end of the season, we're going to see. We got the new keeper out on loan at the moment at Valencia, and then we've got a third keeper, Yaros, whose contract expires at the end of the season as well. So
he looks good, Yaros.
So many scenarios there. Yeah, so many scenarios there on the goalkeeping front. So yeah, we've seen Kelleher make the rebound. The goal's gone in. We've been cut open for Southampton's second goal. We've seen all of the opportunities with Nunes, him crossing it to Diaz. We've seen Salah do the finish on the first shot past McCarthy, and then Salah winning the game with a penalty and taking his top off. and looking like he's done a Photoshop of my body frame. So that there was so much stuff that actually happened in that game to actually recall. It was actually quite amazing.
Wow. You've been thinking about that. You've been thinking about that line all day, haven't
you? Mark Foster, thank you. We are top of the league. So up the Reds. Preds, I know that you dipped off because your audio. What was your thoughts on the game there?
What was we talking before we left? It was
the goal,
the tackle,
the goal. Whether it was a penalty, yeah.
Oh, whether it's a penalty. Well, let me touch on that one quickly. I think I'm looking more at Robinson's positioning and decision making, because that was an awful decision to do to what he'd done. And to be fair, VAR's not going to be brave enough to overturn the original on-field decision. So I think it is what it is. I just think, Robinson has to do better there. Has to do better. Like, he's got like the lads taking a touch and going away from goal. So there was no reason for him to panic and do it, which is uncharacteristic for Robbo, really. And the penalty, Keller's saved it again. He saved it, and the lads, he's nearly saved the rebound as well, which is really unlucky. But like I said, at no point, and I think Tabriz said it, and I think at no point was I kind of thinking, wow, like we're going to lose this. Even when they scored the second goal, and to be fair, the lad dribbling, is that his name? Dribbling, the young lad. He looked. You know what? He looked like if I would compare him to any players back in the day, he looked like a bit of a Chris Waddle-esque kind of type of winger. You know what I mean? So he done really well. But listen, I think we got the goal when Alex McCarthy, like Tabriz has alluded to, he's given us a free goal, really. But that's what happens when that's a goalkeeper who hasn't played for 3 months. True. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. Got lots of people in the comments. Just going to give a shout out to Desby. Good evening, gents. Going back to the earlier situation that we was mentioning about with Lallana on Ryan Fitzwarren, Brighton, mentioned that was a red card all day. He's gone back and he's mentioned it here about the situation. Definitely thought it was a red card there as well. Shout out Bingy. Good evening, sir. Bingy is quite vocal in our WhatsApp group. Bingy, I know that you've got a really heavy work schedule at some stage. It will be lovely for you to be able to jump back and join us on the show, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, but we appreciate you joining into the show. Bingy, I hope you're out there and you're safe there, sir. Good evening.
It will save us. Sorry, it will save us listening to like 3 minutes of voice messages where Bingy's just ranting. he's ranting, and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting by the phone, I'm listening to his voice messages, and I'm just cracking up in the background. You got to get back on there, Bingy. You got to get back on there, mate.
Definitely. Good evening, Teach. In a while, good that you're still tuning into the show. We've got Amit 2376. Good evening, Kings. Good evening to you as well, Amit. We've got something about Coots that we mentioned about last week, so we're going to leave that as well. Apology, Mandem. Good evening to you as well. Let's see.
That's a great.
It is. That was not a penalty for me, bias or not. It looked outside the box, but I get why they gave it. As Robbo was slightly on the line, Robbo was definitely harsh in the challenge, but it probably goes back to what Tabriz was able to us being a match official as well, and he clarified that point for us that if it was on the line, then it was definitely a penalty there as well. So that's fine as well. Let's see. People are still speaking about the situation. Keepers, should we let Alisson go and let Kelleher and the new keeper complete for the jersey? I open that question to you, Tabriz. What are your thoughts on that?
So if So if Becker's fit, as in if like Becker's fit and like Kelleher's fit, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Becker starts. Like, there's a sheriff and there's a deputy, and the deputy's done well. Like, let's be real here. He could he could probably hold down a first team position in most teams, bar maybe Man City's. Well, actually, probably even like Man like City's right now. But again, Becker is our number one. He's kind of got the experience, like he's got the know-how, and that's for me. That's kind of how it goes in certain positions. I think we all would kind of look at Slot slightly left if Becker was on the bench, especially against Man City. But if like both of them are fully fit, you start Becker all day long.
Thoughts, Doctor?
I think it's a really tricky one, man. I wonder if those at the club envisaged that Kelleher would hit this level of form. That it does make me think, again, if this is his actual level, then he's what, 24? Did we then need to sign the Georgian guy? So if I'm his management or his agent, factoring in that I've come through the youth team, I would see that as basically the club almost saying, you're good, but we don't see you as the long-term number one. Now, maybe it's the opposite has happened and he's informed the club that he's going to go, but I doubt that. I think if he was told that you've got a chance to compete for number one, then I think he would stay personally. I could be wrong. So what do you do? I don't know. I would like us to personally at some point in time think about Stellan Anderson. As much as he's brilliant, but I think we need to start getting money for these big players, and he's injury prone. So I would personally, next season, I would say to Kelleher, you can be number one. I'd give the Georgian a loan move to a Premier League team. Yaros will be back up, and then if Kelleher carries on, and basically like whoever plays better out of Kelleher or the Georgian, then that would be my long-term number one for the season after that for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. What I would do.
And to close, Preds from Goalkeeping Union, what's your thoughts?
First and foremost, I'm over the moon for Kelleher in regards to he's like I said, like Doctor just said about coming through the youth team. He's gone through the youth team, under 21, 23s. And he's actually been blessed in regards to he's had opportunities, he's had at the expense of Ali in regards to his injury, and he's been playing really, really well. And again, like Doctor said, I think it'd be interesting to know whether the management actually foresaw his performances, because he's played in some really big. He's played in games, a few games, and he's done really, really well. And he played against last night. He didn't even have one shot to. Did he have a shot to save last night? I don't think he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Like penalty.
But there was, the penalty save, which is thing. So it's a really good problem to have. We haven't had this problem for many, many years in regards to the goalkeeping department. So I'm still wanting Becker to stay. However, I know that Kelleher wants a first team berth. In an ideal world, I'd love both of them to be still at the club. Then the Georgian comes in, Becker will probably go, and then it's a straight shootout between the new keeper and Kelleher. However, I don't think Kelleher's mindset is that. I think he's played these games. He's demonstrated that he's up to the level and got the quality to play in the Premiership, and not just on a sporadic period. He's actually had a really good set of games last season and this season, and that's so important for a goalkeeper. Especially number two. Number two, everyone expects the number two to go and not play. Look at Alex McCarthy. He hasn't played for months. and then you see that he's out of sorts. Anthony McCarthy is a very good goalkeeper. He made some really uncharacteristic mistakes, but that's what happens. People expect the sub goalkeeper to switch it on just like that, and in fact, as a goalkeeper, you need 2 or 3 games to get your rhythm, get your eye in, and get your and he's playing really well. So, to be fair, I could keep on talking about goalkeepers. I really haven't got I really can't say sell Ericsson or keep Ericsson or Keller. I'm just enjoying the moment.
Brilliant. And here, and long may it continue. Thanks, Mark Foster. You took the words out of my mouth. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You can see lots of people in the comments having their own conversations, and we appreciate that. On to the midweek game, Real Madrid versus Liverpool. There were some parts in this game that seemed as if it was taken from the Southampton game. There was a penalty given by Royal. There was a save by Gallagher, and there was a penalty by Salah. Did you manage to watch the game, gents? And what was your thoughts? I'll start. Let me start off with Tabrice there, who's sitting calmly at the top, patiently. What was your thoughts on the game there?
Well, like it kind of felt like it was two sharks going to war. Like Real Madrid, Liverpool will always have that prestigious title. It's a kind of Champions League final in any generation. Like, let's be real. I thought we kind of started off pretty shaky. I think for like me, it was actually important that we didn't actually get beat, if that makes sense. So even a draw would have been satisfying to, I think, most people, especially after the Southampton performance. For me, the catalyst to the whole game was Conor Bradley. Like he was absolutely amazing, and I think it was almost like a coming of age. We've all spoken about Conor in previous games, but I think against Real Madrid, it's like, okay, I can. I know this might sound crazy. I can now see a future without Trent, and will be a-okay. Matt 10's goal, I mean, again, it was kind of, I think it was Conor that assisted, right? It was kind of Conor that kind of did the 1-2.
Done the bounce pass, yeah.
Yeah. And again, I'm actually kind of glad for Matt 10 as well, because I think now we are kind of seeing a more possession-based Liverpool, and now we are kind of seeing like the qualities that Matt 10 like has, and literally what he showed for Brighton and previous. Of course, like I know that we're going to talk about the Mbappe save, etc., and kind of and Kelleher, and of course the Mohamed Salah miss, which is uncharacteristic. But no, I think for me overall, it was a professional job, and literally, I think even Jude Bellingham said it after the game. Real Madrid were not at the races, and literally, if you're not at the races at Anfield or against Liverpool, you will literally get done over. It was kind of more of a professional performance rather than like a kind of gleaming, technical showing. But yeah, I'm happy. My feet are still on the ground. Top of this European Champions League table. I'm like beginning to dream a little bit, just a little bit.
No, that's good. Do you know what's before I just go over to Preds and Doctor? I'm still trying to get my head around the understanding of how this league works. I think, what is there, about 36 teams or something like that in this new format. It's quite bizarre. It's still going to take me a little while to understand, but hey, I don't know. Preds, did you manage to watch the game, and what were your thoughts?
Of course, I watched the game. Listen, as soon as I shut my laptop at work, everything was geared to the game. Everything, and I think initially we started. It was like a clock start. We was electric. We intercepted it in the first couple of minutes, and Darwin's, had a shot where the keeper made a really good save, and then he put it in his own net. I think I agree with Tobias. After that, we had a bit of a shaky one because Gravenberch got a little bit flustered, and he got a yellow card. Bradley as well. He got a yellow card quite early as well. But in actual fact, I think that yellow card for Bradley and Gravenberch, in a way, helped them settle down a little bit quicker. And I think I said it in the text yesterday. It almost seemed like we could have gone up another gear. And people keep saying to me about Madrid, oh, they had this person missing this. Listen, if you have a look at that Madrid team that started last night, am I right in saying that all 11 players would have easily walked into another side? But probably bar the young centre back who started yesterday, and Usla. Do two young, and I'm only saying that because they're two young lads. But any other player in that team could easily walk into another side. So we can only beat the team that's put in front of you. And I think from when we scored our first goal, we assumed control. Again, Robbo turning his back while he's going, like, that's just crazy. I'm like, as he's doing, I'm shouting at the TV, slow your feet. And he's actually not slowed his feet. He's actually done the Cardinals thing for defender by turning your back in the box. His momentum is followed and touched a lad, which was a penalty. Keller's come to the fore again in regards to making a great penalty save, and he not only saved it, but it went far away, and it was a great save. Salah's penalty miss. It's one of those things, isn't it? It happens. But at no point was I actually fearful that Madrid will come and just score a one to go from anywhere. I think they were actually shook. And the brilliant thing is, you normally hear the roof being lifted for a goal, but the tackle that Bradley done on Mbappe was sublime. So I was in my front room. I was on front room, like jumping up. I was celebrating it as if we scored. So listen, I think who said it yesterday? I think Doctor said it yesterday. I think that's a statement win in regards to, not like we're bigging ourselves up, but Slot's come to. He's played against the champions of Europe, and he's matched them in regards to tactical awareness, game management. So, look, if we're like that and we can keep performing consistently, then again, I'm trying to be calm, but inside, I've just got so much excitement inside of me.
Right. Doctor, thoughts?
Yeah, Fabrice, I understand why you have taken this quite zen approach to the game, and I wish I had a bit more composure and far less gas. But for me, I was watching the game in a pub down here, bar, sorry. There was pure St. Lucian cussing coming from my mouth. Salop this, salop, and they're killing them. I'm telling you, listen, that was a statement win. I'll tell you why. Real Madrid have had a mental hold over us for the longest. We all saw in Paris that we were the better team significantly, but yet Thibaut Courtois put in one of the best performances you're ever going to see, and we walked away empty-handed. You saw the way his stature influenced Mo, but we rarely see Mo miss penalties like that. We could see in Mo's head, I need to put this right in the side netting, but this guy's going to save it. He was playing very well, and contrary to popular opinion about Real Madrid aren't that good, yes, the team has been unbalanced a little bit because they're trying to fit in Vinny and Mbappe, but last night they didn't have that problem. And tactically, they were set up quite well. And Mbappe, their key player, got the ball in numerous dangerous positions. So tactically, they were set up well. It's just that we were brilliant. We matched them physically and technically. The performance of our midfield trio was exceptional. The press resistance, the combination play, you would have thought that we were the Spanish team. Curtis Jones is looking like a Brazilian. You've got Matt Ten, Argentinian. You've got Gravenberg, who's just sourced all day. So they just couldn't live with us physically and technically. It wasn't just a passing performance. The technical excellence of the team was sublime. Like, Slot, take a bow, because that was top draw. And like I said, Real Madrid were not poor. We were just excellent. So for me, that was brilliant.
Nice. As I said previously, just going to reiterate, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I have got a little, I should say it's a little quiz for you, all right? No cheating. I want you to try and tell me, I'm going to list off the name of 10 players, and I just want you to tell me what they all have in common, all right? So, Nicolas Anelka, Mario Balotelli, Craig Bellamy, Scott Austin, Nigel Clough, Robbie Fowler, Dietmar Hamann, David James, Steve McManaman, James Milner, Albert Ferreira, Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, and Kolo Touré. What do those list of players all have in common?
They play for Man City?
I was going to say
all
that
have in common.
after the first couple of names, I thought,
Yes,
they might.
Yeah, they actually play for Man City, innit? Yeah, all of them play for Man City.
Hold on, say it. So Sturridge
say it
certainly,
again?
Balotelli
Say it
certainly,
again.
Milner certainly. Go on.
Nicolas
Hamann, yes.
Anelka,
Yeah,
Mario Balotelli, Craig Bellamy,
yeah, City,
Scott Carson,
City,
Nigel Clough,
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler,
City, yeah,
City.
Dietmar Hamann,
yeah, City,
David James,
Spot on, man. You're right.
Yeah.
Steve McManaman,
yeah, City,
James Milner,
City,
Albert Ferreira,
City.
Raheem Sterling, Daniel
City.
Sturridge, and Kolo Touré.
Yeah, all of them play for Man City.
Yeah.
They,
All played for Man
you know
City.
what? You're right. They all played for Liverpool and Man City.
Man City. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that list both played for Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, because I think
Right, so those are some high-level players.
because historically there's been no rivalry, right? So there's no reason why players could move freely between both teams and not necessarily have any impact to their careers, man. Now, obviously, we'd be a bit different.
Yeah.
But
That's an illustrious list.
I tell you, it had me thinking later as well. But you're right, and I'm sure there's many others. Those are the only ones that I can think that came to mind.
Steve
McMahon.
Steve McMahon.
Yes, yeah. Steve McMahon's in there as well. But yeah, those are the ones that I can think of. So Sunday, Man City, they've having an indifferent season at the moment. Actually, before I get onto the Man City game on Sunday, what was you guys' take on? I actually thought when it popped up in my group, I actually thought it was a Photoshop. By the way, the marks on Pep's face were those real? The ones on his head as well, or was it just his nose that was real?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen him?
Yeah, he had it all on his top of his head, and he actually opened up skin on his nose. So boy, it must have been scary.
Yeah, no, there's.
What was real?
Yeah, so literally, I think, Pep had to apologize because when he was doing an interview with someone else, someone like mentioned about like the marks on his nose, and literally they could have mentioned something that literally, I'm not going to mention it on that line, but when you kind of do things to yourself, You know, when you
Okay.
do that to yourself, and then and then Pep kind of made a joke, but like it was a joke that can be looked at as a, he was kind of promoting what he was doing to himself. So literally, he had to come out and literally apologize and say, I didn't mean it, like that. People that do that to themselves, I know that, there's a reason why they do that. So yeah, I'm kind of sorry that I said something that was out of turn. But yeah.
I think you know what, I'm not going to get into another culture in regards to what, there's a bit of PC police out there and everything. However, he was caught off guard. He made a comment in regards to himself, which people then interpreted that he wasn't taking a particular situation like what Teresa said, what they do to themselves in regards to. Yeah, I think he dealt with it really well, and the message that came out on Twitter as well was I think he articulated it well. So yeah, look, he's made an error. He's apologized for it in the right way, and yeah, I think that's about it really. I don't know whether people are going to make more of it, but he's done as much as he can do in regards to apologizing about it.
That's fine. So yeah, so we've got this game on Sunday. Man City's performances so far have been indifferent. Are we playing them at the right time? Tabrice.
We always say a wounded animal is the most dangerous animal, right? But also they're coming to our gaff, and I can't remember the last time they actually beat us there. We are playing them at the right time. Like, let's be real. Salah is probably the most valuable player in the Premiership at this present moment in time. Defensively, we look solid apart from the game against Southampton. But hey, that was a blip. Man City look out of sorts. Defensively, I'd say from and again, they kind of miss Rodri, no matter what people say, and that defensively they look out of sorts. I have no fear. It's funny enough. I literally feared more about the Southampton game than I feared about this game, because literally we know exactly what to expect. I think VVD knows exactly how to handle the likes of what's his name, Haaland and whatnot, and I can honestly see us going 11 points clear. Literally, Walker looks really out of sorts. KDB is not the player that he was even last season, never mind this season. It's a kind of aging and a kind of very lightweight team. And I think Slot's going to literally, I'd say, kind of pounce on that. And literally, I genuinely think we're just going to overpower them. It's, it's like just going to be a diesel performance. I don't think it's going to be a classic, but again, exactly what Doctor said about the Real Madrid game, it's going to be a statement victory.
Thank you, Doctor. What's your outlook for the game on Sunday?
I just think we are in a unprecedented space in that we've never really played Man City when they've been in this type of situation. So I think it's really hard to work out how they're going to perform. I do agree with what Tabrice said about a dangerous animal. I said, I think yesterday, I would take a draw, and I'm probably rowing back on that. And actually, I do think that we should try and obviously we will go for the win, but I think, I don't know. I think it might be a harder game than people think, and this is a tricky one. It's a very tricky game, but yeah, obviously on form, we are rightfully favourites. And yeah, City squad are struggling, but I guess obviously City, because of their, shall we say, financial dealings, I just think are playing politics. They're almost trying to pretend like they haven't been spending money and money laundering or doing whatever it is that they've been doing over the last 10 years. Hence why last season they sell a promising young player to Chelsea. Season before that, they sell 2 players to Arsenal. This season they sell, who's the Argentinian striker that went to
Alvarez.
Alvarez, a very good player, and they don't really replace him. Okay, they brought back Gundogan, but it's not really the same. So it's almost like they've been trying to act like they don't have money, which is just hilarious, right? So it does seem like right now their squad is under pressure. I think they've got one of the highest average ages in the league. So yeah, in theory, we should win, but I think it's going to be a tight game, man. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tight game.
Okay. Preds, thoughts?
I think if Liverpool continue in their vein of form, then yeah, I'm like everyone else. I'm just kind of not. It's not like an arrogance. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I've got this arrogance that, you know what, we're playing the way we are. We're on this particular fantastic run. Man City on this poor run, but like Fabrice has alluded, you know, wounded animal, you've got to be wary of them. But I still believe that this is going to be a bit of a chess game with 2 really good tactical coaches. But I do still believe that we would win the game.
Brilliant. So what's your score prediction, Preds?
I think I'm going to go 2-0. Liverpool.
Doctor, score prediction?
2-1.
Score prediction to Brees?
3-1.
3-1. Okay, so all good witches there as well. That's lovely jubbly. Any other business? So a few weeks ago, RT added something, any other business on the show. Anything else that's actually happened midweek in football that you guys would like us to touch or highlight on? So there must be something that you guys have seen in the blogs, in your groups, on any feeds, anything that's popped up.
So for me,
I see
I'd
someone's
say,
mentioned. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, obviously, the contract situation, like we know what's happening. Apparently, BVB is going to sign tomorrow. I won't touch on that. I just think for me, I just want to just mention Curtis Jones, because I just think it's very rare that we've seen an English midfielder be able to perform against an elite technical side and match them technically on the pitch, whilst also showing the other traditional characteristics of physicality and intensity that you might attribute to an English midfielder. But the fact that he looked as comfortable technically as Modric yesterday, I just thought was just really, really nice to see. And well done to that young man and to the academy.
Yeah, thank you. Preds, anything else that you've seen in a week that you want us to speak about or discuss?
No, well, I've got to be honest, I don't think you lot want to discuss Coronation Street, Emmerdale, and Married at First Sight. So respectfully, I think I might just leave it there. But I'm kind of relying on you lot to fill me in on any other business.
To Brees, anything football related that has come to mind this week?
Probably the United Ipswich game. And it was very interesting in what Almiron said afterwards. He said, "I've never spoken to so many people in 1 week in terms of like the media side of it, and I've been at Sporting for 4 years, and I've been able to coach the players. Like, literally, I don't do media, so literally, you're not gonna get me on camera talking about this every single week, you know, on a kind of daily basis, which was quite telling. And you can see like Roy Keane's face kind of look a little bit bemused and like slightly uncomfortable. And you know what? And I think he's right. You know, like he's there to coach the players. Like he's kind of not a pundit. Like he's not a media guy. You know, like he's there to literally sort out the mess at United. Long may it continue as well. But you know, it's, you know, again, hopefully we can kind of get these type of coaches very like similar to like Slot as well. Because you know, like he's very like Slot comes across quite passive sometimes in in kind of media conversations, which is for me absolutely fine because they're there to get the best out of the players. Let the kind of pundits say like whatever they have to say, and let our coaches get the best out of our players.
I've got one. I've got one. Steve Cooper being sacked at Leicester after 12 games. Like, is that a situation where behind the scenes, Van Nistelrooy, who's was interim manager for 4 games at Man United, won 3, drawn 1, built it, kind of got his credibility in England, or kind of had his audition in England, and then all of a sudden, Cooper gets sacked from Leicester City, and Van Nistelrooy is the number 1 target. So what do you think about all that?
That's very, very, very interesting. Big up Artie. Hopefully you're good at this. I know you've got other engagements out there, but we always knew you were gonna tune in. Hopefully you're good and you're safe. I think Artie, what's really good about that Preds, it's quite interesting that you raised that. Do you think that Leicester reacted thinking that if they were probably looking at Steve Cooper's performances over, the period of time that he was actually there, but they were probably thinking if they didn't go for him now and they had to release Cooper, then Van Nistelrooy would have got an appointment somewhere else. So they probably saw the availability of Van Nistelrooy and probably to go for him. But has Van Nistelrooy done enough to warrant moving on Cooper to bring in Van Nistelrooy? I've got a question mark on that.
Was he not the manager at? Was he PSV? Who was it? Was it PSV or was it Feyenoord?
Yeah, that's correct. PSV.
PSV. So
has he warranted enough? I can see you nodding your head. To Breeze. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there's a bias, isn't there? Really, like let's be absolutely clear, or honest here, especially in the Premier League in terms of what the foreign coaches can do better than the English coaches. And I think it was I think it was a kind of it was a scattergun approach for me to even appoint Steve Cooper and not give him at least the whole season. And I don't know what Van Nistelrooy's done, especially with his tenure at United. I think he pumped his chest a few times and jumped up and down like a kind of vintage player. But again, there is a bias, and again, young English coaches, now have to fight tooth and nail to even get these types of positions. And then literally everyone is up in arms why there's a German that's managing the England team. So
Ain't that quite telling? The amount of money and investment that the FA has put in regards to these coaches. But I was listening to Jody Morris on TalkSport, and it was really interesting what you say in regards to the biggest factor in regards to the coaching for people, English coaches, is the actual amount of money that these coaching badges cost. And like if you're a player like Steven Gerrard, like Frank Lampard, and high profile players, those courses get paid for them. So when you're getting a coach who may start at grassroots, once he gets through the first few coaching badges, he's then got to find about 14-15 grand to go forward for the more elite coaching badges. Whereas you go to Spain and it's not as much, it's not as expensive. You find that a lot of people from England go to either Ireland or Wales to go and do their coaching badges because of the availability and because of the cost. So surely that the English FA have to start thinking about, yes, if they want to promote English coaches, well then make sure that there's an avenue for English coaches to afford to actually take a step in trying to gain these elite coaching badges, and I think until they sort that out, there's going to be an imbalance, like has already been stated in the English game, and it's really sad. It's not, you know, it's a sad thing where, look, me personally, and you know, you get the Spanish team have got a Spanish manager, Argentinian team have got Argentinian manager, German teams have got German manager. So for me, England should have an English manager in place, and it's been short. I think the FA are being very short-sighted in appointing Tuchel.
Interesting point. Good evening, Demos. Good evening, sir. And good evening as well, Evie. One more point that someone had actually put into the comments. It's reoccurring, but I'm just going to click on it here anyway, right? Please, 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 can we have a conversation about Nunez's great team player? But did we really buy him to be a team player?
Let's get to Breeze to start with this one. Has your opinion of Nunez not changed?
Has it changed? It hasn't changed. Yeah, listen, I mean, a great team player. I think every player should be a great team player. I think every player should run. I think every player should shut down space. He's on borrowed time. He's on borrowed time.
I will say, right, that since it's obvious that Slot has done personal coaching with him, and in the last few games where he's had a run in the games, I agree with Mark Foster in regards to, his team play has been really, really good. His hold-up play has been better. His decision-making in regards to his passing, still needs work, but he's got better. And he's not offside as much as he used to. So I think, yes, he's been there for a while. He's still a work in progress. But I think I've seen improvements to kind of show, for me to kind of think, you know what? There might be actually something in him. But that's my opinion.
Interesting. And look at this. D messages. These Arsenal fans are amazing. Swap you Nunes for Jesus.
No chance.
To be fair, what's funny, right? I think Gabriel Jesus in our system actually matches works. I think he does well. I think he does very well.
He don't score goals. He scores less goals, Jesus.
But because I think I agree with what Preds has said, right? You can see that Nunes is a lot more patient in his play. His decision-making is a lot less instinctive and rash. And he himself is playing quite well. I think what's difficult is I don't think he's the ideal striker for an Arne Slot system. I don't think he possesses the natural traits or characteristics for what Slot wants to play Slot ball, which for me is almost to have a number 9 kind of physical profile with a number 10 technical profile. You see how the team looks a lot more fluid when Diaz goes through the middle because he's got the ability to have close control, pop it off, move it, carry it, move it. It looks a lot more dynamic. So I think that's the type of forward. I think we're going to end up going for that Marmouche guy from wherever he's playing, or a João Pedro from Brighton. I think we're going to end up going for that type of forward who's just got a bit more, or even Acuna from Wolves potentially. And it's not no slight on the Nunez, but I think it's interesting that he's not getting many. Okay, in some games he is, but in general, he's not getting many chances, and it just feels like he's a bit of a odd fit for what Slot wants to do. I think he's brilliant as a squad option. If you want to change it, go a bit more direct, look to play through the channels a bit more, or play the ball in behind a little bit more. But then the issue then is, as Mark said, for a club like us, who are as prudent in the transfer market as what we are, who are haggling with Mo Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk over money, have an £84 million backup player, I think it's hard to justify. I think it's so hard to justify. Hence why I think he's on borrowed time.
Fair point. Fair point. Gents,
That's brought something else up, but I'm going to leave it till next week.
Next week, man.
Next week. Gents, I just want to thank you guys for taking your time out for coming and joining us this evening. Tabrice, where can we find you? Or for some of our viewers, we've got a lot of new viewers who tuned into the show. Where can we find you when you're on KopTalk?
So you can find me on YouTube and also on TikTok. So I have a podcast called the Voices of the Game, where I speak to people in different industries, from sports to business, and again, it's kind of really about inspiring men to do better. And actually sparking conversations. And then you can also find me on TikTok with my name. Honestly, I thank you for allowing me to actually come on. It's kind of been like a few months. So thank you so much for allowing me.
It's good to have you back, man.
No, thank you. Man.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Echo it.
Preds, you do a lot of work involved in football at various levels as well. Where can our viewers come down to support your team?
We play. I'm a goalkeeping coach for Hayes and Yeading, and we're based in. I think it's between Yeading, Hayes, and Southall, Springfield Park, Springfield Lanes. No, Springfield Road. The Sky X anyway. But look up Hayes and Yeading. We're on all platforms. But if you got if you're at a loss one weekend, look us up and come down.
Perfect. And Doctor, where is your yacht currently docked? And where can anybody on the island reach?
He's currently docked in St. Lucia, mate.
So I'm actually getting country and western dancing tonight, mate. I tell you what, it's all action out here, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna be there. Yes.
Oh God! Listen, gents, it's been absolutely. It's good. It's been absolutely amazing. I can only thank you guys for tuning in once again. For everybody who's joined us on the comments, we've got quite a few new people as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week, Thursday, KopTalk at 10 p.m.
Brilliant.
Nice show, gents, man. Nice show.